I love the stand-up desk I have now. It gives me like a lot of energy now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, right. Hey everyone. I am doing a live today with Gabby. And Gabby, so I'll tell you the background story of how I know Gabby. So I know Gabby because we go way back, way back when you were first starting your virtual assistant business. And I was starting my coaching business when I was doing Etsy stuff. Gabby was my first virtual, I mean, she's been my only virtual assistant. And we've been through lots of growth, lots of babies, and for you, like a baby for you, lots of changes in our business. So it's been really cool, like going on this journey with you. And now I've shifted and she's starting to shift. She has shifted. So Gabby, go ahead and talk more about your new business venture, not virtual assisting anymore.
Sure. And thank you so much for having me, Shannon. And yeah, we do go way back. It's fun to have that connection with someone in the online business world because I'm not sure if it's like a common thing or not. So yeah. So I have started shifting into my new business, helping moms. I am a time management mentor, and
Ooh,
yeah.
I like that.
Thank you. And yeah, I call myself a mentor because I mix like coaching and teaching and mentoring all into one. I teach moms how to manage their time effectively. I mentor them and help them create a schedule that adds 3+ hours to their day.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's
really
amazing.
cool. Yeah. 3 hours is a lot of time actually to get stuff done in your business. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So one of the ways I hope it's okay to talk about this right now, but one of the ways I'm doing that is through a signature program where I work either one-on-one or in a group with these moms, and we actually create a schedule together. And I teach them the basic principles that actually helped me create my own schedule. That really helped me get through some tough times when I first was a mom and trying to balance my business at the same time.
Yeah, so I love you've been sharing that story lately, and I think that's a story a lot of people in my group can relate to. That it's the story of you had all these ideas of what being a mom would be like, and
Mhm.
I'm not a mom, but I can totally relate to having those beliefs already. Like I
Mhm.
have these ideas about when I have kids, and their negative beliefs, their negative ideas about when I have kids what's going to happen to my life. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that story that you shared?
I would love to. Yeah, so it's interesting you say that because I do think there's such a negative like stigma about motherhood for some reason. And I think a lot of it comes from potentially like other moms that are sharing their horror stories and sharing their struggles and their negative feelings towards motherhood. And I totally get it. Like motherhood is definitely hard sometimes, but I think having all those messages thrown my way before becoming a mom made me think that my life was literally going to be over when I had my baby.
Mm-hmm.
And it crippled me in fear. Like I was so afraid to take action, especially my business, because I'm like, well, I can't start this now because who knows if I'm even going to have time with a baby
Mm-hmm.
running around. And, you know, it was just, it was really crippling. And I think I'm still kind of paying for feeling that way because I truly believe I could have gotten these certain systems into place maybe that last trimester, and then I wouldn't be figuring it out still. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. So if you knew the stuff you know now, which you've been implementing now,
Yes.
then going into motherhood could have been better, or at least seemed smoother in some sense, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, all right, cool. So can you tell us about these secrets or these systems that you've learned becoming a mom?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think in my personal experience, um, I believe that I've really come into my own once I became a mom, and I'm sure this is kind of like a natural evolution for other moms out there. That once you have a baby, like that's one of your main priorities. So it's much easier to kind of know like where you want to be spending your time. And that's what I base everything I do around now is my core values. So the first thing I did was define what those core values are for me and figure out like, where do I want to be spending my time?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it take you a while? I want to ask the people that are watching what their core values are. Do you think it's something you immediately know, or like, is it something that you had to figure out?
I think we all probably have a good idea intuitively of what they are. Something I like to do, I like to meditate on it a little bit, and not just like sitting there in silence, because I can't do that really, but more of like a guided meditation or visualization exercise, like thinking like, what does my ideal lifestyle look like? And that's the key right there, because I don't know about other moms out there, but for some reason I had this idea that I couldn't live my dream lifestyle anymore because I had a baby now. And I mean, maybe it's not exactly 100% the same as I thought it would be, but there's so many workarounds if you're willing to open yourself up to solutions and have like a kind of out of the box thinking. You can make anything work with a baby.
Okay, cool. All right. So we talked about core values. That was one of them. Anything else you decided is it like you decided what was really important to you to fit in every day, or to make sure that's like fit in somewhere along the week? Like, is it everyday core values, you think?
Yeah. So I'll divulge a little bit about how my process works, just because I feel like I want to today. So basically, the way that I set up my schedule, I use time blocking, but each time block is actually tied to a specific activity, and that activity represents a core value, if that makes sense.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Okay, this is really interesting. I'm like taking notes for when me and the husband get on the baby train, but like this is really interesting. Yeah. Okay. So you use time blocking for like each one of those core values that you decided you wanted to use. Okay. Very cool. I love it. All right. So what else? I forgot. Yeah. It's cool, right, Jasmine? It's a really cool idea. So like, could you tell us what a schedule looks like for you now?
Yeah. So, I mean, it varies a little bit throughout the week, just because I created it that way. Because one thing I want to add is that schedules, like, I'm so not the girl that even likes schedules. Like, it's kind of funny. I hate the word schedule. It sounds constricting and I don't like it. But yeah, so I'm that girl. Like, I'm not the one that's like, oh my God, like, I need structure and routine every single day. So everything looks different, and I created it that way. But a typical day, I wake up, Patrick wakes up around like 6:30. He drinks his morning sippy of milk or whatever, and
How old is Patrick, too, for people that are watching? How old is he?
Oh, yeah, he's 14 months.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Patrick, okay, go ahead. So you get up.
Yeah. He drinks his morning sippy. We actually just put him right in the pack and play behind me. And I start to do some of my morning routine, which involves like some journaling, my task list for the day, just like anything to get stuff out of my head. That's like the biggest thing for me, is getting it all out of here, because once everything's out of my mind, I actually open my mind up to that like creative thinking process that we all need as business owners.
We need that space and that time to devote to getting all the stuff out. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh yeah. And then after that, I start to get like a little bit ready, but usually what I do in the morning is either go on a walk at the park with Patrick, or I go for my Starbucks run, which is something I have to do every day, or else I'm not a happy person. And then we come back home, I feed him breakfast. He goes down for his morning nap, and that's usually, I would say like Tuesday through Thursday, that's my go time to start doing work when he's napping in the morning.
Okay.
And then that's about an hour and a half to 2 hours right there. So then he wakes up, I give him his middle of the day sippy, I guess. He plays in he has like a little gated play area. So I'll either make myself lunch, do some work then. Sometimes I'll go in and play with him. Sometimes we run errands during that time. Like it really just depends day to day. But I always know like when I have time to do things, if that makes sense.
Okay. So you know like the times, like, okay, I know today that you know, when you wake up in the morning, you know today at this certain time, I know I'm going to be able to get a like so-called break from the role of being mommy, right? Like now I'm ready to be business woman for the little amount of time, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So why do you think having a schedule, now you said you weren't a schedule person, but
Right.
why do you think having a schedule is so essential to mompreneurs?
So a schedule for me, and I think this can relate to any mompreneur, can actually create freedom, which sounds really weird. And
Oh, I get it. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, one, it creates freedom in your mind because you're not anxious all the time wondering, well, when am I going to get that done? Like, what time do I have today to do that? You're actually already knowing, like, oh, I have this time block to do that. And then another way it creates freedom is because so with my time blocks, like, I'll have like a self-care time block, let's say, but I'm not like committing to a certain activity, like from the get-go. Like I'm saying, oh, that's my self-care time block. So whatever I feel like doing during that time block is what I'm going to do. Like if I want to take a long shower, if I want to paint my nails, like whatever it is, I feel like doing that day during my self-care time block is what I'm going to do. So I think that allows for freedom because I'm not committing to like one specific thing every day.
Thing you have to do during that time, and it allows you to have freedom to do whatever you want and take care of yourself. Yeah, I think that's awesome. And I can totally understand. It's funny because I talk about like self-discipline in the same way, like as in self-discipline actually does lead to more freedom, just like how creating a schedule, sticking to things, like that takes self-discipline in the same way, right? Like it's like I have to stick to the schedule, I have to do these things, and then that actually allows for more freedom. Yeah, I totally get that. That's awesome. All right, so now here's a big one. Here's a really, really like loaded question. I have this with I think every single one of my coaching clients has had this in some way, who's a mom. How do you help moms overcome the mommy guilt?
Yes. So I must preface with saying that I'm lucky in the sense that my boyfriend actually has an 8-year-old from his previous relationship. So I kind of, when Patrick was born, kind of like got that like second time mommy like vibes, like even though I was a first time mommy, if that makes sense. Like, it helped ease my anxiety and fear a little bit. And I wasn't like nervous about every noise he made or like everything he did. But as far as the mommy guilt is concerned, I think really connecting to my why in my business is what helps me overcome the mommy guilt. And one of my whys in business is to be able to contribute to our family. So if it's almost impossible for me to feel guilty. Because I'm like, well, I'm kind of doing this to contribute to the family so we can have a better life or whatever. And so I can feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose. And when I have those time blocks where I'm spending time with just Patrick, I'm 100% present. So I think that also kind of banishes that mommy guilt a little bit because I'm present in everything I'm doing. So when I'm just with him, I'm not thinking about work. And I mean, it's not that easy, but I've made that commitment to not think about work when I'm with him or with my boyfriend. So
yes, I totally agree with everything that you're saying. I think like I have a lot of moms that do this type of thing. They do like, so I'll be, like throughout the entire day, they're just kind of doing like stuff. Like
Mhm.
they're trying to, fix their website or do something like unrelated, like create a graphic or something. And they're just trying to do it all day while also halfway being with the kid, halfway giving them attention, and then halfway giving their business attention, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it's like they have to connect with why they're doing their business. And I feel like once you become connected to the why, then the way you operate in your business isn't kind of like, oh, I'm half here and I'm like, creating a lot of back end stuff and I'm not creating a lot of front end stuff like getting in front of people, right? And doing Facebook Lives and stuff like that. So when you connect to that why, you then start to do the actions that will get you to results faster than behind the scenes stuff. Does that make sense, Gabby? Like how I'm trying to say
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And then when you do that stuff, the stuff that matters instead of like the back end bullshit of like fixing my website or like writing emails or just doing something totally not getting your business anywhere, then you can say, good, I did something good today that felt like it was uncomfortable or it was hard, right?
Yes.
And then I was able to just be fully present with my kid because I didn't feel like guilty for not being fully there in my business because you already were fully there in your business. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
I
Love
don't
it.
know if I can add one more thing on that topic.
Sure.
So I don't know if this is something you talk about ever, but like inspired action. It sounds like such a woo-woo thing, but
I'm getting more into yeah, they're going to be hearing that more. So go ahead, prepare them for what that is because I know what that is. Yeah,
yeah,
that's exactly what that whole thing is. But elaborate on that for them, Gabby.
yeah. So inspired action, and I'm still kind of learning this myself, but it's when you really are just in tune with yourself and you just listen to like the messages that your gut or your intuition is telling you about what action to take, and you kind of have to get to a place where like you have to feel comfortable with having it be easy, which is the weirdest thing to do, but and you also have to get comfortable with knowing that you've done enough. Because that's something I struggle with personally is, did I do enough? But lately, so like this past few weeks, I've really been experimenting and just trying to follow the inspired action. And it honestly, like, it feels like I'm really not doing that much. And sometimes I'm like, is this real life? But like you said, like you have to focus. I think it's so important to focus more on the income generating, visibility generating activities. Like you don't even really need, I mean, graphics are great. Like, I mean, obviously I love creating for you.
She creates them for me. That's why she has to say that.
But they're not necessary. Like, it's so much better to be more like action focused. And I think that's probably what you preach in your business.
Yes.
And so
that's what I'm definitely awakening more to, oh, this is what an inspired action is, and this is why it feels good. But it almost is something that I think a lot of us, whether you're a mom or just a regular business owner, you resist it because it's almost so fucking simple. Like it's so easy. And it's like, there's no way. And so for so long we resisted because there's no way it can be this easy. Like there's no way it can just be, show up in front of people, which also is not easy at the same time, right? Like I know you do a lot of Facebook Lives too, and doing Facebook Lives and getting in front of people, it's not easy, but at the same time, if that's all you had to do today was do a Facebook Live, like that's not bad. Like that's super simple.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Inspired action, guys. It is the way to go. It is the way to simplifying your life and your business. It's like, but wait, can we go off on a little tangent about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So how do you know when you're taking inspired action and you're not taking inspired action?
I love that question.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm personally still learning this myself, but what I have learned is that when I take inspired action, it just feels easy and feels good, and I honestly just feel this like natural high within myself. Like like I get that when I'm connecting with people like you, like I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so in my element, and like it doesn't feel like work. It feels like this is really what I get to do. Like, and then non-inspired action feels like oh my god, like I should be doing that. Like I should be doing this. Like it's such a like I don't know. Like I almost picture myself like trudging through like mud or something like that, like trying to get to the other side. Like I don't know. That's just like how it always feels to me. Like, oh.
Jasmine wrote this great comment below the video, and I put it on top of the video, and she said the challenge is that we've all been trained to work hard for our success, right? Yeah, like success is really hard. It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard work. And leaning into what feels good at your core feels uncomfortable, but it's so worth. That's it summed up. That was awesome, Jasmine. Like that's exactly what it is. It feels good at your core. It feels uncomfortable. And then it also feels like so simple at the same time. I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? Like,
I know.
All right. So, Gabby, tell us more about how you help mompreneurs. So what does it look like when you help them? What does it look like to be a time mentor? How are you helping them? Is it coaching, teaching? Go ahead. Tell us all about it.
Sure. So right now I have a signature program, and it's an 8-week program. And basically what I do is walk my clients through, they start out kind of doing more like the mindset piece where they're discovering their core values. They're deciding what they want their ideal mom life to look like. They are kind of figuring out like what's not going right in my daily schedule, in my life, like what commitments are there that I'm doing or events that I'm attending that really aren't in alignment with my core values. We're figuring all that out, which I call like the pre-work, because then that's actually like a 5-week process, believe it or not. And then we're also working through the mommy guilt as well, getting rid of that, basically just preparing you to be in a place where you can then come to the table with me and create a schedule that works for you, and that is a schedule that you'll actually want to implement, and that's fun to implement. And then after that, you spend some time implementing the schedule, and I am there for support to hold you accountable, to tweak whatever is not working, to change. Something I like to remind everyone that I talk to about this is that this structure and schedule is like an ever evolving structure. Like it's not something that like you decide like the schedule is this and then it's in stone for the next 5 years or however long until your kids go to school. Like it's something that I actually am learning. Like every 2 months I have to make tweaks and changes to my schedule, because I mean, Patrick, as he grows, he's eating different foods, or he's starting to walk more, or I don't know, he's doing different things. So I think knowing from the get-go that it's an ever-evolving structure helps other moms to realize like I'm so just not about that like rigid schedule. It just doesn't work. I don't think.
Yeah, I think like a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to that, because that's why we got out of 9-to-5s, because we don't like rigid schedules. We want to work when we want to work, right? Like,
exactly. Yeah. And that's what I preach too, because I think that's another thing. Like when we become moms, we think we have to do all these things at certain times or whatever, like all these repetitive things. And like, that's not necessarily true. So yeah, so the program is actually either a one-on-one program with me, but I am actually starting a group version of the program tomorrow. So if anyone's interested, definitely comment below or whatever, reach out to me on Facebook, and I would love to chat with you about that. And I'm thinking of creating an e-course that's kind of in the near future, because I'm noticing that some moms have a desire for that. So
yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. I love it. I love your new purpose and your new passion. I think it's something that is so needed. Like, I mean, I don't know if I just haven't seen it because I'm not a mom, but I haven't seen many business programs out there for moms specifically? Like, I know there's a couple blogs and stuff like that, but programs like dealing with this stuff of the mommy guilt and trying to structure time and trying to not be here and there and all that other stuff. I really haven't seen much of that. And it's something that's really needed. And of course, when we start to have children, I am going to go to Gabby first and be like, what do I do? How do I manage my business? You know, because I totally like am already at that place of like, oh, when we have kids, is my life over? When we have kids, you know, do I just have to give up the business? You know, like when we have kids, like is this, you know, I mean, I started building this business because I want to be home with our children and I want it to be generating money, but I know it will be totally different once the kid arrives. Like it's gonna be, our lives are gonna be totally different, and that's when I'm gonna call up Gabby and say, I need some mommy help here, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you, Gabby, so much for joining in on my group today. So if you guys are interested in working with Gabby, you can send her a message or comment below on this video. It's been so much fun chatting about mom stuff. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much, Shannon. I really had fun.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow live in the group again. All right, bye, everyone.